We come from 20 different countries of the world. We are not representing our countries. We're not tied down by a particular national or political agenda. We are spokespeople. And yet we're fighting our way through to saying something with which we could all agree, and yet which we hope is hard-hitting. And that has been an extraordinary process. There have been times, I have to say, when I've thought this, was not going to go anywhere, where we seem to be meandering around and creating something that was anodyne. But gradually we've been able, I think, to grasp the nettle. And I think the difficulties we've had are difficulties in microcosm of the larger difficulties that the whole community, the whole world community is going to go through if we're going to have peace in our time. Of course, I'm a passionate advocate of free speech. I've had the privilege of living and being able to write in a free country and being able to write and speak in whatever way I chose. But I am very much aware that I have responsibilities too. And once your words have left your mouth, as I know myself, people interpret them in mischievous ways. And make them a force for evil. There's a lot of ill will out there, and that is playing into a scenario which will make it very difficult for us to have a good world to hand on to our children. We really cannot afford bigoted talk. Political correctness has had a very bad press. Its idea was to think of what we're saying and ask ourselves whether it was really true to speak in such a way about women, for example, or about blacks, or about people who belong to different regions of the world. And we should examine ourselves, because we are now living in one world, and what happens in one part of the world immediately has repercussions everywhere else. The Pope's remarks as the leader of one of the largest religious bodies in the world were extremely ill-considered. He talked about Muhammad's message as evil and inhuman. And I know he was quoting somebody else, but he chose those words of all this ancient Byzantine theologian. He chose those words to quote, and knowing what he did. The Pope is a very deliberate man. He doesn't allow remarks to slip out accidentally. He is a very methodical man indeed. And this will encourage Muslims in the perception that the West is incurably Islamophobic. The Pope said that he was trying to be positive about the world religions, but if calling one religious body inhuman and evil does not sound very respectful. And coming as hard as it did on the heels of the Danish cartoon controversy, coming after the most appalling summer, where we've had further killings and deaths in the Middle East. All this is fueling the extremism that is endangering us all.